marketing guys called employees. How you doing? Trying to get our music. They're both solid. Tell them, yeah, 2 years from now we can get our band in there. I figure the Orange Bowl is probably more important than implement that.
She's busy though. She's doing the pep bands. They're all over the place.
Yeah, they did.
You get it? Oh, I don't know. We'll find out shortly. So. Still a little cracked.
How's it going?
Still haven't watched the ESPN yet. I want to see the Patriots.
You shut out the Super Bowl.
Let's call this meeting to order at 7:07 p.m. We will now have the pledge. I'll let Mr. Steckles do the introduction.
Thank you. This evening to lead the pledge is a student from Palmer Elementary School, a fourth grader, and her name is Grayson Sickles. She's a fourth grader at Palmer School, as I stated. She's also the president of Cape Kids, and she will lead us in the pledge. Would everyone please rise? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you very much. Mr. Barrett, can we have the roll?
Here.
Here. Here.
Roby,
Here.
Price, here. Snyder,
Here.
Vanderberg,
Here.
Mrs. Weiss, here.
Alrighty. Before we officially get started, please accept the apologies of President Penny Bone. He had to be away this evening, so I will be conducting the leadership portion of the meeting. We will now move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a privilege and an honor tonight to just spend a few minutes to recognize our board members' service to the community. Boards of education across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania are very important bodies. They do the work of great significance throughout our communities, and often do so with very little very few pats on the back and very little praise. Quite often what our boards receive are the criticisms and oftentimes the frustration of taxpayers and parents who are not quite satisfied with things. In spite of that, our boards continue to make important decisions for the benefit of all of us. And so tonight, I would like to take this opportunity to take advantage of the idea that January is Board Recognition Month across the Commonwealth, and I would like to take this moment to say thank you to the Board of Directors who sit here each month and do the business of educating our children here. So, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to come around and just shake the hands of the individuals here. Michelle Price, first of all. Michelle, thank you so much for your time and your energy. Thank you. Next, we have Dominic Buscemi. Dominic, thank you on behalf of all of us here in the district. And next, we have Mr. Brian Snyder. Brian, thank you so much for all that you do. Mr. Robert Faino. Bob, thank you so much for your service to the district. On this side of the room, we have Mr. Obi. Rob, thank you so much on behalf of the school district for your service to our community. We have Mr. Well, we got Baron there. We got Matthew.
Don't worry, I'll still be here.
Mr. Monahan, Matthew Monahan. St. Thomas. We have our newest member, Mr. Billy Weiss. Thank you, Billy. Thank you for your service. And last but not least, we have our board vice president, Mr. Baron Vandenberg. Thank you, Baron, for your work. In addition to that, we have a board member sitting here tonight who has distinguished himself through longevity of service. And it's remarkable to acknowledge that someone has devoted 28 years of service to advancing the public education of young people here in our area. But Mr. Robert Fainall has served 28 years on a school elected body, and that is quite an honor. And I have a Distinguished Service Award that has come from the Executive Board of the Pennsylvania School Boards Association to acknowledge 28 years of service. That doesn't happen often, and Bob, we congratulate you and thank you for all that you've done here in 28 years of service. That's a lot of meetings. Thank you. Now, in addition, we have a little box in front of you there with some really great cookies inside there. So please make sure that you enjoy those as a small token of our appreciation. Next, I'd like to talk a little bit about an individual who's here in our audience. John William Beidel is here with us tonight. Mr. Beidel, could you? There you are. Am I imposing on you to come to the microphone if you would? Mr. Beidel is offering once again to students in the Easton School District a $1,000 scholarship. And Mr. Beidel, was there anything that you'd like to say in addition to this?
Well, first of all, I might like to say that the only person I know here is Bob. And I'd like to add my congratulations on your 28 years. And amazingly, after 28 years of school board service, he still looks remarkably normal.
Thanks, John.
My family has somewhat of a music background. Not me, but my family does. And my grandfather was a professional musician and stringed instrument maker, and two of my great-grandfathers were musicians, talented amateurs, not professionals. And I've just been very inspired by the Easton School program, music program, and the things that they do, and I just thought it was time for me to recognize their efforts in some way. And so that's the reason behind my doing this.
Mr. Beidel, if I could, once again, serve as representative of our board and our community by publicly saying thank you and shaking your hand and letting you know that what you've done here is an inspiration to all of us, because we don't have lots of people coming and offering scholarships to further our students along. We're very lucky with those that do come. We're very fortunate to have them with us. And you're among the ranks of those individuals who have been generous with our students. And I'm so glad to know that you see the rewards of the music experience in Easton, because those of us here in Easton who go and have the privilege of watching our kids perform on the stage and on the fields and so forth know the quality of that experience and the enjoyment that everyone gets from that. So
there is just a little bit of irony. While I'm a graduate of Easton High, 1960, I'll do the math for you, 73 in July. And after all of 72 years living in Forks Township and the school district, I moved out of the district in, last fall. We're in Mill Square now. So even though I'm not in the district, my heart's there.
Well, obviously so, and your generosity and generous spirit is here too. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Once again, one more round of applause for yes, do we have any invitations going on?
No, we don't.
Okay, great. Reports. Let's start with Ms. Price with the IU report.
Okay, first of all, understanding all, please. I'm handing out something that I got from the IU tonight. And some of the information is that the early intervention preschool program was selected by the state to participate in a new verification program. And they did very well. The parent feedback was great, high praise for all the work that the early intervention specialists have with their students. And also, the IU also provides educational services for the Northampton County Department of Corrections. And in November, the Pennsylvania Regional Assessment Support Team completed their assessment and monitoring of the Northampton County Department of Corrections. And they found that the IU is in total compliance with everything that they needed to do. So they delivered special education-related services to children as they're supposed to. So that's basically it for the IU.
Awesome, thank you. Once again, Ms. Price for the library.
Okay. Well, for the library, the one nice thing is that the Friends of the Library helped staff the library for the December book sale. And the sale was held from December 11th through the 16th. And they raised over $6,000 for the library. It was the fourth highest that they've had, so that's really good. Yeah, and they also sold over $200 in jewelry during that time period, and the remaining jewelry was donated to a charity thrift shop. So there's a lot of good stuff going on at the library, and we'll have more later.
Thank you.
To discuss.
CIT. I don't have anything to say. Mr. Snyder.
The budget was approved. So they'll be coming around to the district to review the budget. And we also had our reorganization authorized county committee chairperson.
Thank you.
So that's it.
Northampton Community College. Mr. Finn.
Our meeting consists of going and reviewing our budget presentation, and we will see that budget presentation here on February 17th.
Okay, great. Foundation for Eastern Schools, Mr. Busharman.
Not so much to report. They had the Carrabba's Cares, which they did fairly well. Carrabba's gave a portion of the monies received for dinners on Tuesdays in January to the foundation. I don't have the full amount yet. And the next big thing is going to be the gala. Everybody to mark that on your calendar so that we can see you out there. We'll give you more on that in a couple of weeks.
Okay, great, thank you. Charles Schrin Science and Technology Initiative, Mr. Monahan.
Our meeting is actually next week. Mr. Finkel, did you have anything you wanted to update on? Okay, so next week.
Legislative panel.
Just that, things are starting to start up out in Harrisburg, and I'm sure over the next few weeks we'll start to hear something coming out of there.
Okay. Hold on for Mr. Cousins here somewhere.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to introduce our Student Council Executive President, Morgan Weiss.
Well, it's been very hard to meet with the snow days, but the freshman, sophomore, and junior classes are just doing their fundraising ideas and collecting class dues. The senior class has started organizing the prom. Before Christmas, we held a clothing drive, which was very successful and was donated to the Salvation Army. Today, we had a blood drive, which we hosted at Key Club. We had a lot of people sign up and donate with that. And right now, we're just making sure we find enough volunteers for the Special Olympics, which will be holding in March. Thank you.
PTA, Dr. Hill.
All of those reports have been so short, I feel guilty. But actually, mine's shorter than usual, too. The Forks PTA is planning the Founders Day currently, and you may already have gotten your invitations to that. For those of you who are new to the board, the Founders Day celebrates the national founding of the PTA. And it's a really lovely event. It's a night where we get to meet and discuss and just say hello and listen to some music provided by the children of the district, eat a little bit of delicious food, and just enjoy each other. So March 2nd, Founders Day at 5:30. We hope to see as many of you there, all of you there, as possible. Tracy Elementary PTA hosted a family fun night. Compliments of AAA. Students and their families came dressed in pajamas and brought sleeping bags and watched the viewing of the movie Frozen. They had a raffle that included a Vera Bradley bag. Tracy has also hosted the recent Family Connections Kindergarten Dialogue that focused on helping students with physical, sensory, and motor skills. About 50 people attended that. Kindergarten registration will be held on March 3rd. They also had a Super Bowl collection, Super Bowl, taken in to raise spirit for the big game. Students placed their soup can in a box for their favorite team. The Seahawks came out on top. Over 200 cans were donated. I did not see that last interception. The donations were given to the Project Elite Food Pantry. The Eastern Area Middle School 5-6 PTA held an annual membership event for dads last week on Wednesday. They hosted dads, stepdads, grandfathers, and uncles who are members of the 5-6 PTA, and they had make your own frozen yogurt sundaes, and they invited them to spend time with their students in the school cafeteria. They also have a second PTA-sponsored dance coming up on Friday, February 27th. And last but most fun is the Easton Middle School 7-8 PTA. They're announcing that they're hosting the Harlem Wizards on Saturday, March 7th at 7 p.m. in the 7-8 gymnasium. They're currently looking for staff members throughout the district to play on the team, and would like to encourage any board members who would like to play to contact them as soon as possible. I believe I may be playing as well.
I've already been asked.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I can do it. I have the date marked.
Okay, excellent. That sounds great. So this will be a fun night that we hope will continue as a yearly fundraiser and a community outreach event for all of us. If you're interested, you can get in touch with me and I will pass the word along and I'll tell you who to contact. Thanks so very much.
Awesome, thank you. EADA, Ms. Miles.
Good evening. I'm going to piggyback on Morgan. The teachers are trying to maintain some sense of normalcy in this crazy schedule. Also, it seems like we haven't had a full week of school at the high school between Keystones and finals and snow days since Thanksgiving. On that line, we want to thank you for converting in-service days to teaching days. We all know students are learning better now than they possibly would at the end of June. Teachers also would like to thank you for the early calls for delays and closures. It has been noticed and appreciated. I also want to thank the board for making a statement about honoring the agreement with the teachers. It goes a long way towards working together and rebuilding that trust that we all want. And lastly, I just had an email before I left home that tomorrow is World Cancer Day. So I'd like to take a moment to honor all of us who have been touched by cancer, either personally or in our families, because in this district, there's a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. And don't see Ms. Jones. Did anybody here represent the bus problem? No, seeing none. Continue. Mr. Reinhardt, BAFD Diversity.
Yes, their next meeting is next week, February 11th at the Boys and Girls Club. I'd also like to mention that the Easton School District is partnering with a number of school districts here in the Lehigh Valley in trying to create a replica organization of the Delaware Valley Consortium for Excellence in Equity in Education. Obviously, ours would be known as the Lehigh Valley Consortium for Equity and Excellence in Education. And we're trying to, as I said, duplicate that model where University of Pennsylvania is the institution that is helping to move that along, and here it would be Lehigh University, a partner. I'm really excited about this because our conversations about diversity are right on target in terms of what this organization wants to do here in the entire Lehigh Valley. And I believe that Easton being a member of this organization is going to help us further our efforts along very nicely. So I'll keep you posted on our progress with that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Reinhardt. Number 5, standing committee reports. This is just a section, motion to accept the standing committee reports as written.
So moved.
And a second. Been properly moved and seconded. To all in favor?
Discussion?
Oh, pardon me. Backtrack. Discussion. Any discussion on those?
I actually have some corrections in there. Okay. If that's the place under the policy minutes for 5B. Provide up to your attention. The minutes state that the policy committee meeting on the 13th was called to order by Mrs. Leonard Ellison, which would be incorrect. It was called to order by myself. And I have a note here that my name is misspelled in there twice. Top of the first page it said Mr. S-Y-N, it should be S-N-Y. Summarize the following. That's on the top of page 2. That's the first misspelling. The second misspelling is in there somewhere. It's possible. Corrections, yeah, but I will give you these. I had in my notes too, but I can only find them now. So. But my name is misspelled in there at least once. So at the top of page 2.
Can we have a motion to accept the minutes with the given corrections?
So moved.
And a second. Any more discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Ayes. Now, do we have any public to be heard on agenda items, things that are in front of you on this documentation? Any public to be heard on agenda items? Don't all jump in. Seeing none, let's move on to line number 7, an approval of the minutes from line A, motion, the minutes of December 3rd, 2014 meeting.
Motion. So I do A and B together?
Yeah, I was gonna. A motion A and B together. Why? Second, any discussion?
Yeah, on item 7B on the special board meeting, towards the end, I have another correction where it says final resolution towards the end of the document. It stated Mr. Billy Weiss was going to serve on the Board of Education effectively 1/13/15. I believe that should probably be the word effective, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Well, effectively is the adverb that's describing an action being appointed after effective a certain date.
All right.
I'll amend my motion to accept with the changes.
Okay.
We had an English teacher already.
Do we have a move and a second?
Here's my motion.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The ayes have it. Line 8, motion to approve the executive session report as listed.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Brian, good?
No. Well, yeah, there was one in there too. No, I was mistaken because I looked at the date again. It was, I had a note, but I crossed it out because it listed Mrs. Leonard Ellison, but that was an executive session for November, which she would. So, all good with that one.
Frank's not here, somebody has to prolong the conversation. No, just motion to accept.
Motion.
And a second? Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The ayes have it. Line 9, personnel. Can we take line 9A through... Does anybody want anything separated? I see line A through S. Motion to...
Let me get tricky worded.
I forgot about that. So let's do
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
We'll take everything, take A separate.
Okay. So let's take line A. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
And a second.
Well, before we, go ahead, let me repeat that. Not that.
Second, any discussion?
Yeah, because it's the motion to approve or deny. So which one are we making a motion
It's a
on?
motion to deny.
Deny, okay.
Any other discussion?
How it normally is, I just wanted to make sure.
So let's reword that. A motion to deny, level 4.
Right.
Any other discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The ayes have it. Can we take 9B through S with regrets where appropriate?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. We got a motion and a second. Any comment? Those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The ayes have it. Line 10. What else? The academics?
If I may, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the conference request with one amendment there, that the district also pick up the meals and the airfare.
Second. Properly moved in second. Any other comment, question, or concern? Those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The ayes have it. Line, you just did A.
Yep.
Line B, can you take these?
Yep.
Take them together? Lines B through F. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any comment or discussion?
Just for verification, parent-teacher conferences are all half days, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Any more discussion? More comment? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No, 1B.
Okay. Mr. Mary, the,
Mr. Steckel, could you provide the change in dates for the revised calendar? Announce those days that we're going to use for makeup days.
We'll be using February 17th, March 13th, April 2nd, and then there would be one day, June 5th, which would be the 4 makeup days for the 4 snow days, 3 in January and 1 in February.
Right. Thank you. Once again, the reason for our doing this is related to something that Ms. Miles mentioned here, in an effort to try to get those instructional days in before testing and to try to avoid tacking them on at the end of the year when that's just not the best instructional time for students. So we're hoping that we can make up those days in that fashion.
okay. We are through Line 11, policy. Motion to
They don't need to be approved, but it's important to acknowledge that first reading.
Motion.
Can we have a motion to acknowledge the first reading? Okay. And a second?
Second.
Been probably moved in second. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to finance, line number 12. Can we take 12A through H? Motion to move forward?
Motion.
Second.
And a second? Been probably moved in second. Any comments or discussion?
Yeah, just a quick question, on the fuel. Are we actually buying biodiesel? And if so, for what purpose?
Yes, transportation, and I'll get back to you on exactly why.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Been probably moved in second. Those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The ayes have it. I don't see anything under miscellaneous. Now, moving on to public to be heard on non-agenda items that are not on this agenda. Please come forward. Please remember to state your name and write down your information on that.
Good. My name is Andrew Gillespie. I too am a graduate of Easton High School, 1992, 40, for those who can do the math. And I'm also a proud graduate of Tracy Elementary School, where I attended, my brother attended, my daughter attended. Loved seeing Mr. Stuck on his red sweater at the Christmas concert with the jingle bells. And in the recent discussion and consideration of the proposal to close Edward Tracy Elementary School as an elementary school and reconfigure it possibly as administrative offices and the Easton Academy, I have spent the last 2 months talking to concerned parents, voters, citizens like myself, and have circulated a petition. Got 214 signatures, and if it weren't dark, cold, snowy, and people didn't think I was a salesman, I probably would have gotten a lot more. This is our concern. Closing Tracy Elementary School and relocating these students to other schools may result in the following: higher taxes to pay for the significant added expense of reconfiguring an elementary school to administrative offices when we already have sufficient beautiful offices here, and reconfiguring an elementary school to an older school for older students, as we have across the creek there. And in the process, then redistricting all the elementary schools and the bus routes because of this. Replacing a small, quiet neighborhood elementary school with a rich culture, a rich history, a special school that anyone who's ever substituted there, taught there, graduated there, or had children go there can attest to. With, again, office space or an academy for older students. It's going to result in larger class sizes. You go from 7 to 6. You're going to have longer bus rides for the students who live in that area. It may result in lower test scores, and Tracy has always been one of the highest performing elementary schools, not just in Easton, but throughout the state of Pennsylvania. You can find that online easily. And again, people purposely choose to live near Tracy School because of its wonderful reputation. Why would we want to close Tracy Elementary School, which is in good condition, and keep Palmer School when it's in desperate need of repair, when Tracy's a newer school than Palmer School? I don't have all the answers, but I know demographics can change. I know population can go up. I read the Pell report online, and I was pleasantly surprised that in circulating this petition, people are aware of this issue, and they are concerned. They're following the newspaper, they're reading it online, they're watching Channel 69. More houses and condos are being built behind Walmart as we speak. And some of the solutions that people mentioned to me when I went around and had some good ideas were, and applauding you in wanting to save money by selling or closing buildings. They said maybe sell the administration building and move the administrative offices to one wing or one floor of one of the elementary schools that has capacity. Okay? Or sell the academy building and move those students to a wing or modular classrooms at the middle school campus where there is room. Or refurbish Palmer Elementary School and have part of that for administration. Or at least keep Tracy School open while you repair or refurbish Palmer Elementary School. And those expressed concern that if you close Tracy, then Palmer Township will only have one school, and Forks will have Shawnee Elementary and Forks Township, and Palmer has more residents than Forks. So these are just some of the things that people are concerned about, and they're upset about it. And I'm seeing that my time is going. Mr. Buscemi, when I talked to the guy on the phone, he says, he'll make the right decision. Mr. Fainer, when I talked to Carl Brown, he said, he'll make the right decision. Mr. Reinhardt, when I talked to former Representative Rich Grusella, a teacher, he said, Mr. Reinhardt's a good guy, he'll make the right decision. And these 3 men signed it, and as I said, 214 people in the community signed it in 2 months. Okay? I know you're only in the beginning stages, and this process may take, as Mr. Pinnabone says, it may take years, it may never even happen. But people are worried about it, they're concerned about it. They're taxpayers, they're parents, they're citizens, they're voters who ask you to please take your time, explore all options, do what is best for the children, as your sign says, for the good of each other. And please keep Tracy Elementary School open as an elementary school. Thank you. And I have a signed copy for each of you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gillespie. I do find it appropriate to, first off, thank you for your concern and for taking on initiative to address the public and to understand the consensus of the environment. I also want to encourage and make sure that we are implying 100% that this process is not going to happen like this. And I just want to reiterate that because I know that it's something that concerns our community. This is not something that we're going to breeze through and make some type of irrational decision on. It's going to be given utmost thought and attention. Once again, thank you for your concern and your diligence. We look forward to more interaction like this from our community. Do we have any other? Come on up. Please state your name and sign in on the book, please.
Hello, my name is Kim Marzoli. I'm currently a food service worker for Chartwell, because as you know, we've all decided to outsource us to outside sources, with the exception of one food service employee. I guess our point is, and I'm here with my fellow workers, is that we were misinformed when they required a vote from us, and we were told what we feel was untruth. We found out December 4th, after your December 3rd school board meeting, that with the exception of one employee, food service employee, we've all been outsourced. And our question to the board is, when we were told that the school district is no longer interested in carrying the food service department by the person that had a special contract written up just for her, we feel we've been discriminated against. We were offered this same package. What it is, and I'm sure you're all aware, is that this person gets to stay with the school district, including her benefits, her retirement, her days off. We all are dedicated employees. We've been here very long. As a matter of fact, there is another food service employee that shares this person's birthday, because we were told that she was offered a special contract because she's close to retirement and she's been a dedicated employee. There's an employee here that shares her birthday is going to be the same age, and she's a dedicated employee. We want to know why all of us collectively, as a food service, if you were going to outsource us, why we weren't given the same consideration with this contract. We feel we've been discriminated against as a group. If in the mutual agreement, the memorandum of understanding that our union and the school board had, it states that the school district was no longer interested in carrying food service collective bargaining unit employees. We want to know why only one was allowed to retain. Why are you retaining one and not all of us until October? If that's the case, why couldn't we all be retained until October? And at that time, be outsourced to the food service company. This person, we were told, is due to retire in October. But her agreement says that she has a choice. She can retire in October, or she can get the same option that we were all offered. But our option was, you take this package or you're out of here December 31st. We chose this person to be our liaison because she was a food service worker, and we thought she would negotiate our best interests. And we feel that at this point it was for personal gain because we were not aware that any special agreement was being made for one person. The second thing is we do have a memorandum of understanding with Chartwell's and the school district, which they're not supposed to change our hours. We're supposed to have the same hours and the same rate of pay. What they're doing is they're adding a half an hour to the full-time employees. We have to take a punch out, half an hour break, and they're adding a half an hour on the end of our shift. Okay? We were told our times weren't going to change until the 15-16 school year was over, and they're changing that. As of January 23rd, which I had to go on my husband's insurance, we were told there would be no breach in insurance. Now there isn't, after hours and hours of phone calls between Mr. Simonetta, I know that Jack Logic talked to him, hours and hours back and forth. These people, the people that have chosen to go with Chartwell's, they don't even have insurance cards. They don't know what insurance we were told it was going to be this rate. They based it on a 12-month employee rate. Some of the employees are paying what they were told they had to pay, plus half of that, so 1.5 times. Some people don't even make what they're requiring us to pay for our insurance. The other thing is there's 3 bulleted items. The third thing is our emails were turned off as of the first day back to the school district. I know myself and a couple people that have kids in college, we were told, this is your email. You use your email for everything. I have my FAFSA on there. I have everything on there. We can't get into our emails. We've tried for the last month. Just let us on temporarily so we can get our information out. We are given, I feel like, and as my co-workers, we feel like we've been thrown to the wolves and you went like this to us and that's it. Except for this person. She got a special agreement. And we want to know why we can't have that same agreement.
Mr. President, perhaps I could give a little advice. First of all, the board appreciates hearing from...
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
I said the board appreciates your point of view. However, what you described was the result of a collective bargaining process. So I don't think it would be appropriate, and I advise us not to give any answers or discuss this publicly, but certainly if you wanted to...
I don't mean to interrupt you, but according to our president and vice president, they had absolutely no knowledge of this contract until after it was approved by the board.
Well, I can't speak to that. All I can speak
And it
to...
wasn't signed by our union. It was signed by, I could tell you this, the board president was in agreement.
Well, what I'm going to advise the board is not to get involved in a public discussion of what is a collective bargaining matter. It also sounds like there's some internal issues of communication within your organization that really are not part of this, but certainly to the extent that you want to discuss this privately, Mr. Simonetta, I know was involved in those things and perhaps can describe to you in more detail some of the answers. But my advice is that we don't discuss this publicly. Notwithstanding that the ladies believe... Can I finish, please? Notwithstanding what's been stated here, our information is that our knowledge is that this was a collective bargaining matter, and that's why it is the way it is. So, again, my advice is listen, and but we don't take this opportunity to respond.
That's all? That's all we got. What about our emails? What about...
I think what I'm saying is the board can discuss this, or Mr. Simonetta can discuss this with you.
We've been talking with Mr. Simonetta for the last month about our emails. We can't get in. What do we do?
But we're not going to make this a public discussion, is what I'm saying.
Well, Is there any way we can make an appointment to all of us sit down privately?
Well, that's between your representatives and the board. So
We are here to represent ourselves because apparently we're not getting anywhere with our representation.
Well, but that's an issue you have to deal with. We have to deal with your representative.
Good point, then.
Absolutely nothing?
Nope, nothing.
Nothing. Crap.
Why did the board choose to fire 60 cafeteria women? What was it? Can you speak with data on the savings that will become from that? They're the lowest paid women in the school.
We will not entertain discussions on private personnel matters in a public forum. That is not something that is allowable by school code. And frankly, it's not that ethical. We're not going to discuss that. Per discussion, we will be taking the initiative to reach out to the organization, despite a lack of some type of formal request to go on. We will make a contact to your leadership and try to get this resolved the best way that we can. We are not looking to harm anybody, so if there is a situation that we need to discuss, we will definitely discuss it. However, we will do that through the appropriate processes and not in a public forum.
With all due respect, we've been lied to through this whole process. We've been told untruths through the whole process. Bullied to the vote yes, to the point where everyone was scared to death that they weren't going to have a job, threatened. And we are at our wits' end because we have been on the phone for hours. I'm literally hours and hours with our union representation. I'm going to get you an answer. I've talked to Mr. Simonetta about the emails. I've done this. I've done that. Our question is, why was this offered to one person and not the rest of us? That's all. It's a very simple question. No one seems to have an answer for that. Where did it come from? Our unions tell us it didn't come from them.
Like I mentioned,
Yeah.
I'm not downplaying you or discrediting your conversation or anything.
Frustrating.
But this is not something that we will address in a public setting.
Well, where can we address it then?
Mr. Simonetta will be reaching out to
Okay.
the necessary individuals. I'm not discrediting
I
or
understand.
downplaying or anything, but we will handle this in the appropriate measures.
I don't mean to be defiant. It's very frustrating.
Understood.
Because we feel we were railroaded and things were done for personal gain.
Understood. We're not here to hurt anybody. We're here to get things fixed.
This agreement, though, was kept under wraps until it was approved by the board. We had no knowledge of it whatsoever.
That's not something that we have any control over as an organization. But as I mentioned, we will work through this through the appropriate measures. We will make it a public meeting. So if it's okay with you, I will reopen the floor for comment for.
I don't mean to be inconvenient. It's just very frustrating. As a very dedicated employee, as all of us are.
16 years.
Yeah.
And we
a long
lost
time.
all our
We lost
retirement,
everything.
lost all our benefits for our
Except
whole
for one
family.
person. Except for one person. We don't know
Ridiculous.
how that works.
The further point. Do we have anybody else who has any non-agenda items that they would like to speak on tonight at this meeting?
I just have a quick question. My name is Michelle. I'm with Tracy Elementary. I'm back. I know I'm fortunate to sit with Mr. Reinhardt and the rest of the PTA presidents once a month. And I know at the last superintendent's roundtable, you did mention that there would be a committee, probably a special committee put together to discuss the Pell report results as well as some other capital projects that I know have cropped up. I just wanted to see if there was any action on that.
Not anything further than when we talked. Mr. Pinnabone and I have had several conversations, and we're looking at just how we want to proceed and who should be on the committee, at least recommended who should be. So we're still in that process.
Okay, just wanted to touch base.
Yes.
All right, we have a PTA meeting next week, so I'm
Yes.
going to get questions. So, all right,
I think if you want to speed up the process, you should probably go buy us all snowmobiles.
Thank you.
Anybody else for non-agenda items that would like to be heard this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to any other business from board members.
I have one.
Yes.
I just want to recognize one of our alums, and his name is Brandon Scott. He went to the University of Pittsburgh, and he was just recognized as one of the positive university images. He's actually on, if you go to University of Pittsburgh, you can actually see the whole article, and that's just a great thing. And I just want to encourage anyone that has any positive enlightenment about any of our students, current students, past students, that have moved on and done really great things, to keep bringing them to our attention, because we want to make sure we spotlight them. Although Brandon did well too, his brother also graduated from Rutgers. He went on, he works at Merrill Lynch. So again, two brothers that have graduated from here, both athletes, and have gone on to continue to do great things. And Brandon's actually in neuroscience and pre-med major, so great job.
Any other business from board members?
Right.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Just want to bring up the athletic signing that's going to happen tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning at the high school. There are some outstanding athletic students that's going to be accepting their college tomorrow morning at 7:30, I believe, at the high school.
In the absence of President Pinnabone, I would just like to take this moment to, during school director well, technically it's not school director recognition month anymore because it's in January, but from the leadership, I guess, office, if you will, thank you all around this table for your service. It is not always easy, but it is something that we do without any reward. And I think when we come up around budget season, I'll be making a motion to Mr. Seminetta that I would like us board members to be paid 400 times what we were paid last year. So it's already just so nobody goes and prices it up and looking for a raise. We don't get paid. It's still going to be zero. But if there are no further, if there is no further business from any board members, I'd like to adjourn this meeting at 7:59 p.m. Can I have a motion? And a second. Second. Properly moved and second. Everybody have a good night.